Hello, my name is Kristina Mickelson and I'm the Executive Director of Kingman Center for the Arts, and I'm going to take you on a tour of the Beale Street Theater, and we're going to discuss some of the renovation plans that we have for the building. So we're starting outside at the front of the building. You can see we've got these awnings here and the front side. We're going to be replacing these with a theater marquee, which will have digital signs so that we can advertise our shows, and in neon the Beale Street Theater logo, which will be very exciting to see lit up. Some of the changes that are going to be made to the front of these areas here used to have windows under them, and so we're going to put those back into place and take down the boarded up areas. The door is going to remain in the same place, but of course be replaced with a new, more secure door. Somewhere in here, there's going to be a ticket window where you can come and buy tickets to our theater shows in person. The rest of the building is basically going to be left mostly the way that it is. If you want to walk down to the side here, all of this is just going to be kept as is, but replaced with, as I said, more modern glass and secure windows and that. On this side down here, coming out near where the colorful door is going to be a exit that comes from the backstage area, and there will be a ramp that comes down off the sidewalk to keep it ADA compliant. So you'll see that addition as we come along. And then the windows that are boarded up here are also going to be replaced with new windows. So we plan on keeping the structure and architecture of the building intact as much as possible because we like the way that it fits into our historic downtown Kingman. So we'll go inside now and look at some more features. All right, we are inside the building. This is the lobby of the theater. We have some pretty big changes that are going to happen in here. The first is this staircase, which is narrow and scary and dark, is going to be torn out and moved to this side of the lobby, opposite of where it is now. The stairwell that we have plans to put in is going to be open with glass going up to the upstairs. In the original building, this whole ceiling was actually open and vaulted to the upstairs. We looked at the option of whether or not we wanted to keep what's here or open it up again, and we decided to compromise and open half of it up and leave half of it as it is so that we can use it for office space. So as the stairway comes up, there will be a balcony that you'll be able to see up to a vaulted ceiling with a nice chandelier coming down in this area over here. As I said, this wall here will be replaced with the glass windows as the original building had in it. So, unfortunately, we're not able to move these pillars, so those are going to be kept as well. The original theater has a concrete pad here where the projection room used to be. And if you're familiar with movie theaters from the era that this was built, which was 1948, the nitrous film they used to use to show movies back in the day was very flammable. So they needed to have concrete secured projection rooms to mitigate the fire hazard if those were to catch fire. So we have a concrete slab we have to work with, and so that's why we need to keep these pillars here. On the back wall here, the doors are going to remain where they are, but we'll be putting in some light control vestibules that will come out from each side of the wall with openings, so you'll be able to walk through a door here and then into the theater itself. And this will make it so that when you exit and enter, you're not letting a lot of light come in and spoiling the performance. This whole area here is going to be torn out with the staircase, and the wall will be moved back to that wall there. So all of this will be coming out and opening up the space a little bit more. Over here, where we've got the old fountain, that's all going to be torn out, and there will be a ticket counter, some office space in that corner right there. There's a slight ramping that's going to be left in place, and so we'll have some handrails coming up into the lobby itself from the entrance. All right, we are in the side building coming off of the lobby. There will be a ramp put in to allow our accessibility into this side of the room, because the elevation is a fair bit lower than where the lobby is. This room we've used as storage, and you'll see that throughout the building. We do have a theater company that collects a lot of things. We will be moving a lot of this stuff out within the next few weeks and on as we get ready to start construction as soon as possible. The space, looking back this way, this area is all going to be filled with bathrooms, public restrooms. We tried to get as many in there as we could because no one likes to be stuck waiting in the bathroom at intermission and missing the show. Up here in this area where we have the open windows, this space is going to be a flex space for the building, and we'll be able to hold some private events. We're able to hold other fundraising events, maybe makes a retail shop at some point, and also we were hoping to use this as rehearsal space as well. Okay, so this area, as I say, will be bathrooms on this side. Some people have asked about the glass block that's on the theater. There's a lot of that, and that is original to the building. We will be cleaning that up and keeping it in place as you see it. There'll be a nice addition of light to this area. As we stated outside, this panel here that has been boarded up, this was an original storefront. We are putting that back into place. So we will have an exit here that we talked about, as well as windows that will show into the building. Coming further down here, this will be our backstage space. So we have a drop here in the floor, and this is probably where most of the most extensive renovations are going to take place. Because of the elevation changes, we are going to have to raise this floor. It'll be raised to the level of this existing floor, and then the ceiling, we've been informed from our structural engineer that several of the wooden trusses that are up above are in need of being replaced. So we opted, since we're going to have to tear a percentage of the ceiling out, we will be lifting that up as well in this area to give us some more ceiling height. So backstage space, there's several things that will happen back here. So we will have a performer's lounge area with bathrooms and dressing rooms, makeup counter, and then just a place to hang out while you're waiting to go on stage. So we've got that all laid out here. We were able to fit in a lot of amenities in a very small space, which was great. Starting from, where's my line? About here back is going to be the official backstage space, which is where we'll be exiting and from the stage and have all of our sets and props in the staging area for the shows that are going on. So there will be doors that close off this space to this space so that we can keep the sound down. All of this will be painted black with stage flooring that will continue in through to the stage area on that side of the building. So you'll notice that on this side we have another original storefront. We still have the boot, shoe, and saddle repair sign on the windows. And this is a lot of fun history, but this will have to be altered slightly to fit the functionality of the theater activities that are going to happen back here. On this back wall here, we will be punching through where you see that cinder block and a little bit bigger, we're going to have to put in a loading dock door, which is very important when you're bringing in sets and equipment for shows. You want to have plenty of room to be able to haul that stuff in and out. So that will be on this back door here. This wall here will be opened up even more, as big as we can get it, all the way over to this pillar, support pillar here. We'll have a very large opening so that we can move those sets and props on and off the stage without too much trouble. So we'll walk into here. And this is going to be our stage area. This is where there was an existing stage from the original movie theater. This pit here is actually a baptismal font from when this was used as a church, which was very interesting to see this built under the stage. We probably aren't going to do much with this other than build the stage on top of it, the new stage. So this is our main theater room. And some of you may notice this looks a little bit like the antique store that we bought it from, Boston Antiques, with all of our theater sets and props and costumes that are in here. We are, as I say, planning to move these on out soon so that we can get ready for our renovations. The stage area itself will go from the back wall all the way up to this first pillar line here. So it will be a fairly nice sized stage that we'll be able to get in here. One of the challenges we've had is there's an emergency exit going off this back wall. And for fire code, we need an exit somewhere in this area. Having it back there was going to be problematic for staging purposes, so we were able to acquire an easement from the property next door, and there will be an exit going out this wall so that we can close off this stage area. We will still have an exit going off the back of the stage for actors, but it won't need the accessibility for the audience since we're adding this one here, which makes it nice. But it does mean that from this pillar here, we will have stage on this side, but we will need a walkway going up to this exit. And so we have been working with a staging company out of New Jersey who's done some amazing work in theaters around the world, and we were very excited that we were able to get them involved on this project. And they came up with a lot of great innovations to make this space work, even with some of the challenges that we've come up against. So the stage will be coming out here, but the curtain itself will start on the other side of this exit. And we will be getting one of the Italian style curtains that lifts up instead of out. And so it will have the ruffles that go up into the ceiling. And speaking of the ceiling, that is one of the exciting additions to our renovations. Up in this area, there are the original curved rafters, wooden trusses and things from the ceiling. We are going to open all of that up so that you will be able to see those beams and rafters and trusses exposed. And we're hoping this will be a great, beautiful effect design-wise to the theater. Coming back, after the stage ends here, we're able to get about 300 seats into this space, which was a number we were trying to shoot for so that we could attract good performances and traveling entertainers and things that tend to judge whether or not they want to stop at a building by how many seats they can sell. In talking with the staging company, that 300 seats was about the mark where people tended to decide whether they would or wouldn't stop at a place. And so we are excited because we are on that corridor coming from Vegas to Phoenix where a lot of entertainers run, and we already have people contacting us and wanting to stop and perform at the Beale Street Theater. So we know that is going to be a great asset to us in being able to attract performances and things that can come into Kingman. One of the finishes that we're going to be doing in this room, we have several of these pillars. They are going to be faced in a wood paneling, and we are putting some LED strip lights down the sides to give, on both sides of the pillars, that will give us some nice lighting effects. We will be lining the walls with acoustic panels to help with sound acoustics and sound absorption. And so that's kind of the look in here. The colors we've opted to go with are a beautiful blue, a dark cobalt blue. The seats will be upholstered in that with a light wood finish. And we will have those on display next week in our live show that we'll be doing, and we'll be able to show you some of the finishes that have been selected for the building in person. The flooring in the theater will be a polished concrete. We're still looking at colors and finishes on that. And then down the aisles will be a run of carpet. And you'll be able to see that selection as well next week. Up here is going to be our production balcony. You can see where the window is. That's where the old projector room used to be, and that is where we will replace it, and it will be up in that area with an open window there in the center, and then on each side of that are going to be mechanical rooms for the equipment, for the stage lighting, the sound, and the projection system for the movies. All right, we are upstairs in the theater at the second floor. So if you remember from the tour of the lobby, this space here is where the concrete slab is. And there used to be just one staircase coming up to this slab. These other areas up here were added at a later time. This is the other side of the production balcony that we discussed, that you can see. Okay, and then up on this side of the upstairs, this is the place that was the vaulted ceilings. As I said, we're going to take half of this out and have it open to below, so that when you come up the stairs, the balcony will come along here, and this area here will be used as a flex space also, that we can hold some private events, board meetings, conferences, different things that we find the need for. So if you look over here, this area is going to be left intact and be turned into an office space. As we say, the stairs over there will be filled in, and all of this will be used as office space. We'll have a pocket bathroom up here as well. But we are excited with this staircase coming up from this side, we'll open up into a very nice balcony area for when we want to use that for some public access at times. We won't be able to get a lot of people up here at one time, but a few. If we come out here, you can see here, this is one of the original curved beams that is original to the building. We opted to do some demolition before we started in on the design plans, and the reason for that was that when you're planning renovations for a building, it's always nice to know what's in the walls before you start selecting where things are going to be, because there are surprises sometimes when we open things up. And one of those was that original staircase that you can see from the lobby that came up, and that was hidden behind one of the walls. So these are the original rafters we discussed that will be opened and exposed to the building, so that you'll be able to look up and view that beautiful architecture while you're waiting for a show to start. All right, we are on the roof of the building. This is a little walkway area that allows for us to have access to the original theater sign that you'll see up here. Plans are to have this sign renovated back to close to its original condition. We will replace all the bulbs and polish it up and repaint it. Where it says House of Sound, we're going to have some neon that says theater, and repaint the surfaces on this and then reinstall it so that we can keep that history for Kingman. Thank you for joining us for this tour of the Beale Street Theater. We appreciate all of the support that Kingman gives us in our project to bring art and culture into the community, and especially this beautiful piece of Kingman's history in downtown Beale Street. We currently have a matching grant going with the generosity of Angle Homes. They are willing to match all donations this year, dollar for dollar, up to $100,000 for us. This will be a huge chunk of money that will help us get started on our renovations of the building. So we encourage you to make donations if you are able to this year so that we can get that match working to get our building working. And thank you so much for your time and for watching.